Tonight on DC News Now, 10 days after stepping up law enforcement in DC, President Trump driving through the city.
It's such an honor to be with you, and we're going to make Washington, D.C. great again.
His words of thanks to federal agents.
Free, free, free D.C. Free, free, free D.C.
But there's continuing pushback against federal agents and National Guard troops patrolling D.C.
He's done everything to roll back opportunities, which grows crime.
Many families instead insisting for more resources to address the root causes of crime.
Erin will drift farther out to sea, and Friday's looking really nice out there to wrap up the work week. The latest details on those numbers coming up.
A scary moment for a state trooper in Maryland. A driver now charged for crashing into him during a traffic stop.
Uncertainty for Virginia's economy. Why businesses might reconsider investing in the Commonwealth.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 10 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. President Trump is speaking to hundreds of federal agents and troops earlier at the Park Police Anacostia facility. Take a look. The president driving instead of patrolling the streets at one point earlier today, but he also spent roughly 20 minutes applauding his own success and thanking everyone for their efforts.
And he says they're restoring pride back to the nation's capital. DC News Now's Mark Hall's been monitoring the president's movements, joins us live in studio. So, Mark, what's the big takeaway?
Well, Susan and Chris, a lot to take away. You had mentioned earlier he spoke for 20 minutes, and at some point he got off message and he started talking about some of the other successes about both his foreign and domestic policy, but then he got back on message and he talked about a lot of his top priority here in D.C., and that is crime, and he spoke to nearly 300 personnel from several agencies, including the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, and the U.S. Marshals and the National Guard, and of course, D.C. Police. The president talked about how people are feeling more comfortable going out to dinner and other events, and he even mentioned members of his family, including his son, who recently went out for 4 straight nights in a row, and he said that it was the first time that he has done that since the takeover began. And he said his son had not been out in 4 years. The president also said that the takeover is not about playing games. The goal is to continue to make the district safe, and he plans on keeping the effort going for a while. He says that bringing in the National Guard and other federal agencies is paying off.
So some of the stats, they just read them out to me inside, the numbers that we haven't seen here ever, actually ever. And I think it's probably right now, it's to me, I feel very safe now, and I'm hearing people are very safe, but I know within 2 weeks it's going to be, Pam, it's going to be at a level that's even far superior.
President talking about the numbers, Attorney General Pam Bondi affirming them, giving an update on the number of arrests in the district. She says 630 arrests in the district since the takeover. And then on Wednesday, 54 arrests were made, 10 guns taken off the streets. She also says that there were 24 ICE arrests made. Again, President said several days ago that in order to keep up this momentum, that he will request another 30-day extension. President also talked about plans to beautify Washington, D.C. by the end of the year, including adding new grass to parks that are in need of improvement.
Free, free, free D.C. Free, free, free D.C.
There were also hundreds of people who gathered on 14th and U Street protesting President Trump's federal takeover, saying he created the crime emergency and then to use it to wield power. The crowd eventually spilling on into the streets, and the police and troops also lining the roads. The atmosphere remaining peaceful and upbeat for the most part, many staying to dance to the sound of D.C., which of course is go-go music.
Yeah, DC News Now's Yamarie Sase was there. She's now live at Union Station. And Yamarie, there's still beefed up law enforcement there right now.
Yeah, well, we actually just saw the National Guard get on the bus, so it seems like they're done for the night. But again, we probably can expect to see them out here again tomorrow. Now, earlier today at that rally where we saw hundreds of people out there protesting, expressing that they do not want the federal enforcements in their neighborhoods and they want to see something done and change. But organizers say it wasn't just about sending a clear message, it was also about bringing the community together.
Free, free, free D.C. Free, free, free D.C.
While we are enduring what we're going through with the surge in feds, we can utilize this moment to uplift the community, to have our voice heard.
Now that's the goal of organizer Justin Yadiad Johnson at Thursday night's Defend DC rally. As the night went on, crowds grew, advocates spoke out, and go-go music was played.
People cannot live in fear, and that's what I see our community doing right now. We got to continue to curate these spaces where they feel safe.
Since President Trump boosted federal enforcement in D.C., many say the president's approach misses the point.
I think if he was really concerned about crime, he would invest in D.C. in the ways that we've been crying for forever, investing boldly in public education.
All these troops in the street, ICE, DEA, FBI, and all those short letters, they need to go.
D.C. Councilmember Robert White says the federal presence is troubling.
I'm out here because this is an important moment for D.C. and for our country. The president is trying to militarize D.C.
And with President Trump himself patrolling with the National Guard and police Thursday night,
people have to be strategic. The president wants a reaction from people in D.C. We cannot give it to him.
Johnson and other advocates say instead the focus should be on coming together.
I'm not about continuing to feed the problem. I want to find solutions.
Now, as I mentioned just before, the National Guard boarded their bus and they are out for the night. But we're going to continue to follow this takeover and bring you the latest. We're now reporting live in Northeast. I'm Yalmer Sase, DC News Now.
Our new curfew in the district is now in effect. This is U Street tonight, where kids under 18 are not allowed to gather. The curfew zone includes 15th and V Streets to T and 7th Streets and continues until Sunday night. But the citywide restrictions for children under 18 continues every night from 11 until 6 in the morning. That remains in effect through the end of the month.
All right, let's take a live look outside right now at the Outer Banks in North Carolina. This is the pier at Kill Devil Hills, and we're just seeing the top edge of it, so we can't appreciate all the other details. But we are tracking Hurricane Erin with video from all across the eastern seaboard, from the Carolinas up to New Jersey, showing the thrashing waves and closing down beaches. The storm is expected to keep creating these life-threatening conditions and high surf, dangerous rip currents for the next several days.
All right, for the latest and the timing on Hurricane Erin, Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer is here. Yeah, we're seeing just over the past 12 hours or so, these waves just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 10 to even 15-foot waves just off the coast there. And then when you talk about that wind, too, the wind really helps with those waves to stay upright as well. So we've been dealing with that, battering surf right along the immediate coast. Here's a view of some of those wave heights there. Thankfully, the storm is offshore, because notice some of the waves that it is generating closer to the eye of the system. We're talking at least 30-foot waves out at sea. But yes, at the coast, though, we're talking 10 to 15-foot waves, even up towards Nantucket and even just off the coast of Jersey and down towards Virginia Beach and the Outer Banks. Here's where Erin is right now. It's still at least 430 miles east-southeast of Ocean City, Maryland. That's to about the eye of the system. Yes, we do have some outer bands that are a little bit closer to Ocean City, Maryland than the center of the system. But I just wanted to point out just how close the center of the system is to the coast. But we're going to continue to see the system lifting its way north and east and away from the coast, and likely weakening over the course of the next 12 to 24 hours. And it is expected to become an extratropical system as it moves into the northernmost parts of the Atlantic, and eventually weakening as well. Highs today, yes, it was limited because of the cloud cover and those winds that we did have earlier today. We did have those highs back in those low to mid 70s for much of the area. We're into the upper 60s to low 70s right now. And then as we look towards tomorrow, tracking a really nice day ahead. We're tracking the sunshine and those high temperatures back in the low 80s with also low humidity too. Really nice way to wrap up the week. More details though, and look at that weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, all new tonight, investigators say 2 people have now died from carbon monoxide exposure in Largo, Maryland. A 3rd adult remains in critical condition. Fire crews say it happened in a row house here in Berrywood Court this morning. Still no word on where that leak came from, but carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, poisonous gas.
Developing now, a suspected drunk driver rams into a Maryland State Troopers cruiser, causing a chain reaction crash and pinning a trooper between cars. Now, this all happened on the inner loop of 495 in College Park overnight. You can see the rammed up car here. Investigators say a trooper was pulled over a car, that is, during a traffic stop. Then a second trooper drove up to help, parking his cruiser behind the first. That's when they say the suspect slammed right into the rear cruiser, pinning pinning the trooper right up against the first car. He was able to free himself and has since been released from the hospital. Police arresting Damian Hammond, who's facing a whole list of charges, including DUI and reckless driving.
Happening tonight in Northern Virginia, the Republican gubernatorial nominee and current lieutenant governor speaking at a school board meeting.
The main topic of discussion at the Arlington County meeting, transgender policies. Now, it is one of 5 North Virginia school districts under intense scrutiny here. The Department of Education is saying they're on high-risk status for not complying with transgender policies. Winsome Earl Sears is saying the district's policies are just wrong, insane, and hurting Virginia's children.
But here in Arlington, the trust between parents and schools is being broken. When girls lose their privacy, when boys are punished for speaking plain truth, when parents are silenced for simply asking questions, that's not education, that's indoctrination.
Earl Sears went on to say if elected, she'd put an end to trans-inclusive policies. Some members of the public agreeing with her, but many others pushing back, including some teachers who say the priority should be on increasing resources for students.
Because feeling seen and supported is what's safe, is what gets our kids to school, but it does not educate them. On Monday morning, I'm going to walk into my AP Physics class and meet 31 students. My colleagues are going to walk into an AP Environmental Science class of 32, an AP Biology class of 30. And no matter how hard we work, it will not be enough because it is just too many students.
Earlier this year, Virginia's high school sports league banning transgender girls from competing with the girls' teams in response to President Trump's executive order. The superintendent in Fairfax County has since asked the Department of Education to pause any actions until the courts can hand down more clarification.
And we did reach out to Democratic nominee Abigail Spanberger's team. Her spokesperson releasing a statement that reads in part, as a mom of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, a former federal law enforcement officer, and a candidate for governor, Abigail's priority is ensuring that all Virginia's kids are safe and supported.
Staying in Northern Virginia now, and students in Loudoun County weren't the only ones swarming Briarwood High School for the first day of class here. They were all greeted with a pest infestation. The superintendent sending home a letter saying the problem is in the cafeteria and kitchen area of the building. And while they're cleaning and getting rid of the concerns, they're going to be packing up breakfasts and lunches off-site and then bringing them over for the students. But school leaders did not say what kind of pests they're dealing with.
And as students head back to school in Arlington, more speed cameras will help keep them safe. 10 were installed over the summer. 30-day warning period there starts Monday. After that, lead-foot drivers will receive a $100 ticket. Now, existing cameras, they will start issuing tickets on Monday, the first day of school. There are now 28 cameras operating in school zones.